last video that I did yesterday was about allowing creativity to flow through us, to actually be able to see the world so much more clearly, to connect to it through here as opposed to out here, right? And it's funny though, what came through me today was that I can't get creative when I have any kind of clutter or things that I have to organize in my life, like, boxes to sort and toss out, or, old things that I've been collecting from my parents and from my grandparents or my great grandparents or whatever the heck, like and Aaron's old school work, and I've got like alone 3 boxes of stuff that's like significantly decent size of Aaron's childhood. But she's not really interested in it. So if she's not interested in it, then like, why am I, right? So we hang on to things because as women, really, like, that's what we are. We're these the nurturers and the grounding energy that is within a family. And it really out there in the world, like, that's what we do. We collect and we create, or extrapolate, like, wisdom from all the things that we, collect and nurture through the years. And at a certain point, I'm going to guarantee that there is an overwhelm. Like, we can push ourselves and collect the stuff and have old teapots and old spoons. I've got my father's camera collection and an old model that he did in the 1970s, and the thing weighs about 150 pounds, and I've got it sitting in my garage. For what reason? and like, all these things that we collect and we carry around on our backs like a turtle, right? We're carrying our homes wherever we go because we've got this mound of pressure on our backs. And when you have that, like, you cannot be creative. I find myself that I can't go and paint, or I can't do my drawings or do the things that I want to do to just, pull myself out of this outside world, and I want to, do something creative. And I know I want to do it, and then I start shaming myself because I'm not, right? Or I feel guilty that I'm not. And I know what my block is. And my block is a lot of times the overwhelm of, I collected so much stuff because when I was living in Prince Edward County, and, then my marriage blew up and all this stuff, like, everything went to where I am today. And I've never had like someone with me, or, Aaron's helpful, Michael's helpful, yes, all that stuff, but it's like I procrastinate it. And but I find the days that I don't procrastinate are my best, biggest days. Like, they're just so big, and I feel so good when I just start clearing out the junk. Yeah, it feels really, really good. And when we make that decision to completely, like, just, it's almost like taking inventory. Take inventory and even count how many boxes you have in your basement, or count how many boxes you have in your garage. Count the things that you are collecting, and put it on a piece of paper. And that is the reason why you're feeling overwhelmed. I guarantee it. I know for a fact that when I spend a day, or even if I give myself like 3 or 4 hours, half a day, and I pull out a a storage room of like all the boxes, open them up, have a garbage bag there, and just go toss, toss, toss. I haven't touched this stuff in 6 months. I haven't touched this stuff in 12 months. I haven't touched this stuff in maybe 10 years. What do I want to hang on to it for? It cuts us off from what we really could be doing, and that is simply enjoying life, being creative, deciding to go for a hike, deciding to just, go for a walk, or just, be with your wife, be with your husband, just hang out, like just play a card game, like whatever it is, to just simply be and not be distracted with all the layers of all the stuff that we hang on to. I guarantee that what you guys all do is that when someone dies, you go through the stuff. I don't say we because I don't have that many people that have died close to me. Is that you go through the stuff and you go, I'll keep this, you keep that, and you go through and you actually choose what to keep or what to toss and who gets what. But isn't it weird that your life was just fine? Sorry, the sun's now directly in my face. Wasn't it weird that you were just fine without all of that stuff the day before? Your life was fine. You lived without it. Why are we so obsessed with hanging on to things that another person owned and had in their house? Makes no sense to me. This week, because I've got 3 days of beautiful sunshine and beautiful, time, because I've put in a lot of work over the last 5 days or 6 days or so of like solid work. The sun is crazy. That I am going to set aside this time now. I'm driving to Collingwood right now because I do have to get rid of some stuff. I'm actually donating. And that I'm actually going to like remove things from my storage room. It's nonsense, actually. It's actual ludicrous thinking that I need to hang on to any of this old stuff that just simply doesn't serve me. And if anything, it's impacting me on such a deep level with sheer overwhelm. And I know that I'm not the only woman that's going through this. We need to feel light. We need to live light. We need to be free, like these fairies and angels and just this beautiful feminine energy. You cannot connect to your feminine energy if you are collecting shit. You can't. You can't do it. And I know that I visualize the life that I want to live, and it's like bare walls, a storage room that's empty, and living a life that is so light and free, and I can just focus on with the intentions of just painting and making pottery, or spending time with my business. I can be creative in my business. I can be creative with my daughter, with the next podcast that we're going to do, and just be free to create. And that is where the magic is. That is where we all should be living, in that state of pure freedom, pure connection to the feminine spirit. And it's funny that, men don't hoard. I'm not calling myself a hoarder. No. Men don't collect boxes from their parents or from their, previous life or whatever. They don't collect stuff as much as women do. I'm seeing that. I know that I have an imprint too from my childhood with like lack. And so I do sometimes have like, maybe too many mixing bowls or too many vases or too many things like that, because I visualize them all being used at the same time. But really, when I bake, whatever I'm doing in my kitchen, I only use like maybe at the most 3 bowls at a time. Like, so why do I have 8? You know? So anyways, I'm very aware of what I have what I've hung on to, and I think it's a great day and it's a great time, you know, as we're going into winter, because now it's being fall and we're here to wind down and, you know, prepare for sleep, prepare for the slumber of the winter solstice, and just move through these motions of creating a nest and calm and warmth and just comfort. And how do you do it if you have too much stuff in your house, or too much stuff off in your storage room or in your garage or whatever? Like, just imagine that, how freeing it is to have like nothing. You don't need anything. You don't need anything stored, saved, no nothing. It's just living in this present moment. Yes, I only need 4 plates. I don't need 10. I don't entertain for 10 people. I really don't. You know, if I ever did, I'll go to Home Sense and buy some or rent some or whatever, you know? Like, I don't need this much stuff. And yeah, I'm just feeling this right now, especially too being able to articulate it into a video and to be able to share that feeling and that's coming up with me right now, that as much as I'm sharing it with you guys, like there is an absolute liberating moment happening for me right now. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it. And let's go. I'm actually, after I go to Collingwood today, I am going to be going home and taking care of a lot of things that I have